She go live, let me know.
Okay.
I can click on it and see what it's on. Like.
Yep. It's on there now.
All right. Go ahead and talk.
Check 1, check 2. Check 1, checking 2.
Y'all brothers up here doing that coffee, man. Hey, look, man. Hey, I see coffee. Hey, I see coffee. I keep playing.
So keep spraying.
Friday mic'd up too.
Try to give him some sounds.
Mic check. Friday.
Give him a mic check.
Yo.
Check 1, check 2.
Talk to Mike earlier, man.
Oh, how you holding up, man? I ain't seen
Ain't
Mike.
going through that situation, man. So you might have to go in and give him a couple. So
Oh,
he trying to play his last card, man. You gotta say, guys, in the hole. So he gonna try to use that, you know.
Dang, man.
Yeah, man. I'm like, damn. Like he said, man, that's last case scenario. You know, he was facing a little more than that.
Yeah, but dang. You can't buy a bucket right now, man.
Sound good.
We
Sound
getting ready,
good, bro?
getting ready to get to it up in here.
Hey, bro. Where you and sis at? Y'all at the crib? Oh, okay. I was finna tell y'all to go on YouTube. We finna go live.
Y'all tap in, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel.
We go on YouTube. We finna go live. Yeah. Okay, I'm
Fli-City
gonna hit it up real
Blackout.
quick. Okay. Yeah. Hey, so we finna go live. Go on YouTube and subscribe. Yeah, the Fli-City.
Nephew, taking notes, baby.
Well, we finna jump on. You ain't gotta think about it. You get on in there. Okay. Yeah, I just talked to Ryan. So maybe he'll jump on.
Peace and blessings, family. Peace and blessings.
Okay, let me get off here.
Peace and blessings, family. Peace and blessings. We're just getting all the back end work on. Ready for another show. Gotta tap in. Tap in. What?
I can't.
Really?
Yeah, my phone is off.
Yeah. You gonna put the jam on first?
How do you we getting to it in the lab, y'all. We getting to it. You got another phenomenal show, man. We're gonna get into. What's going on, Miss Taylor? If y'all got any topics y'all want to share, anything that y'all want us to enlighten on or expand on, please let us know. Please let us know.
Tap in.
Mm-hmm.
Put them in the comments. Man, I used to love these little jokers right here, man. No, I'm good, man. The apple, they got some apricot too. They could some raspberry. I thought I was the only one like them little jokers.
Nah, well, you good, huh?
With some milk, boy.
Man, what? Well, now I'm rocking little shortbread.
Yeah, little shortbread.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're gum. Gum, that's better than that.
Hmm?
What?
Gum.
Okay, what?
I think gum better than that.
Gum.
Yeah, gum.
Oh, you chewing on gum, man.
I am. I could. I like gum. Yeah,
I chewing on gum, man. I don't know how long.
I got some.
You like blowing bubbles?
No, hey, my breath's that good.
Man, we used to blow big bubbles and pop to them, boy. Pow!
That bubbly on, bubbly
Yeah,
on,
the
just
bubbles,
go stale quick as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that gum was terrible.
Had your jaw muscles tired. It was so hard
Yeah.
to chew.
I'm talking about we was about, what, you 20 years old, man? I be thinking he's about 12.
Mm-hmm.
You look good, though.
Mm-hmm.
As smart as a whip.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I ain't turned straight like this here.
Mm-hmm.
Smart as a whip.
You 22.
I ain't turned straight one this year.
I was 21.
You gonna turn to
You
That's been good.
Yeah,
You 21 or you gonna turn 21?
first 21.
When? What?
July 3rd. Coach is down
July
4th.
3rd?
They,
Yeah,
for the
coach is
fourth.
down 4th.
Yeah, your birthday close to mine. Mine June 29th.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't be saying that on live, though.
Mm-hmm. We can go straight in.
Let's get it.
So, man, we welcome everybody to the Fli-City Blackout. We appreciate everybody who tune in, who do check in with us, who check for updates, information, and all that jazz, right? It's a beautiful thing to be able to be an outlet and to be able to service the community in ways to provide community updates, insight, make announcements, all those different things that, you know, you want the community to be aware of. And so, we back in, right? Big shout out to Brother D back there on the ones and twos. Big shout out to Neff back there, Xavier getting to it, right?
Big X.
Big X. And so, man, how your week going, brother? Myself is DeJuan Rolex Robinson, sitting here with my brother,
Rodney Thomas.
Rodney Thomas.
And all is well. It is well.
All is well and is well. I think, you know,
He is
That ends well.
All is well that ends
Okay, okay, all right. Man, that's deep. That's deep reverence right there. All is well. I think anytime that we get a chance to wake up and get another opportunity to live life, to be able to go ahead and spend time with your family, kick it, and then really enjoy all the fruits that come with life. I just I've been taking it easy,
well.
and I've been getting and being thankful for it all. And I think, nevertheless, man, a lot of times we be getting into this thing of not being satisfied with what we doing in life, where we at in life, and not that serious.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
you
saying?
got to breathe sometimes.
And I'm trying to tell you.
Don't do it a lot, man. You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to tell you.
But you got to persevere. But like you said, though, man, all is well that is well. That's what you
Mm-hmm.
all is well it is.
I'm trying to tell you. Because it could be
You
a
got to
lot
be
worse.
grateful. You
It
got to
could,
be grateful.
it could be a lot worse.
Yeah.
I know for one, for sure. And one thing for sure, a lot of times we take these opportunities in life for granted. And a lot of times we want more without putting in the work necessary to get what we need, right? And so today, man, we're going to be discussing community updates. We're going to have some insights and information, and we have announcements, right?
Yeah.
One thing for sure, man, I do want to put out there and let everybody know the U.S. debt ceiling has been reached. And so inflation is high, and the money is not going up at all, right? You know what I'm saying? When you're talking about per wage, and when you're talking about salaries, when you're talking about groceries, things is just not adding up in this world today, man. Do we know one thing about this country, America? America always operated debt. It's always talking about, it's this country this. We always send $1 billion to this country. We just send $1 billion,
Mm-hmm.
and now we're talking about sending more to Ukraine, right? And they need tanks, right? So my thing in this whole situation is, if we always operate in debt, right? How do we continue to feel as if we're a superpower?
You're right. You're absolutely right. I mean, you can't be on top, man, when you got somebody in your pocket. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody always in your pocket, how you gonna be the top? So that just don't balance.
It don't balance, and I don't even see how we've been operating and moving for that long, and with that type of system or structure, right? And so, man, for us, man, nowadays, it's better to be able to get yourself your financial standing. Never try to live amongst or beyond your means, right? And just kind of keeping a simple life, man. It's gonna keep you in position. A lot of times, folks don't understand how necessary, kind of budgeting, right? Kind of thinking like how you gonna process things, right? And kind of making it make sense with, putting some money to the side and making a rainy day fund, and then continue on to be able to pay for expenses. You're always gonna have expenses in life. We got bills that come day in, day out. Bills that just continue to day in, day out. And you're gonna have to pay the bills, right? If you want to go ahead and have water in the house, if you want to have electric in the house, and plug up your socket, plug up your phone. This stuff real, bro.
Absolutely.
This is a real
It's
situation.
real out here for real. And you need to capitalize, your dollar, man. You need to expand your dollar, max your dollar out. So, my old lady was talking about today, man. You got to max your dollar out.
Man, I'm trying to tell you. And I guess, man, that's what I've been kind of looking at too, man. Trying to see how, like, how I can make it make sense too, man, and how I'm stretching, to be able to take care of business that I need to take care of, and always, I guess, staying on the forefront, man. So that's a big thing. So, man, other than that, man, what else is going on? What else is going on in the city? Where we at with city council? Where we are with the county commission? We want to provide an update from the commission. We want to provide an update from the road commission as well.
ARPA funds.
We want to talk about the ARPA funds, right? So, tell me what's going on at city council.
Man, actually, really, it's the same rigmarole. Back and forth, you know what I'm saying? Back and forth. I really not getting nothing done, you know. So, like, I was down there for a couple hours yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't really talking about the Mays and Murphy almost got to it.
Yeah.
In which Murphy needs to stop that, really, man. I mean, Mays needs to stop it too much, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Fries, should be called the man no fool, but at the same time,
is that what Quincy said?
No, that's what Mays saying. Quincy called him a fool. You know, you fool. You call you a fool. So Murphy kind of like he about to run up on him type, with that you know what I'm saying, kind of jumpy, like, how you try, you know what I'm saying? But that ain't cool, man. That ain't cool, man. Ain't how you do it. You ain't in the street.
Man, you ain't in the street at all, man. And I wouldn't even expect Murphy to do anything anyway. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes just like we need folks to really be able to represent for those people in those spaces, in those areas, in those districts, in those council wards. We need folks to be able to do the work. And a lot of times, when people are unable to be diplomatic and able to get along, and able to have conversation and convey the things and the wants that they have for the people that they represent, then they result to getting upset and being bad.
Street mentality.
Oh man, that's stuff real.
Yeah, it's definitely real. I mean, but it's you know what I'm saying. I would say it's time and place for it. Ain't no place for it at all in that type of you know what I'm saying, that type of environment. There ain't no place for that at all. We bigger than that, especially two black guys and with seats. You know what I'm saying?
We supposed to be bigger than that.
Yeah. Supposed to be anyway.
A lot of times, man, that stuff, that'd be the last thing people think about it. They really come up with a lot of personal vendettas and personal issues, and it doesn't necessarily work well for the people or the constituents that they're trying to serve. So I guess that'd be my thing, man. Living in this city right now, man, it's like super hard because you don't have people in place that's gonna really like create a vision for the city of Flint. We don't got people that's fighting for the people and really trying to change policy that's in those seats. So it's kind of difficult when you got ARPA dollars downtown and you got all these projects that you want to do. You got a lot of visionaries in this community, but they're not being supported. And we need resources to be able to move a lot of these initiatives that we're having. So people get caught up in just saying, like, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and do my own thing, right? I'm gonna go ahead and make my own way, right? Or I'm not even gonna deal with this group of people because they never supported me in the first place. And so, man, we tired of it, right? We're talking about really trying to buckle down. We're really talking about having seats that's going to do the work. I always talk about the state rep position because that's a vital position. The mayor position is a vital position in the city. You got to have somebody who's going to really go ahead and set the tone, right? Use the whole aura that comes with those roles. And when you doing the right work, you be respected. But if you're not doing the work, if you're not taking care of the people, you're not taking care of city business, then those constituents are going to be very upset with you. And that's what we got going on in the city of Flint, right? We sitting up here at the bottom of the barrel when you're talking about this community. We sitting at the bottom, and I'm talking about the county. They're always asking and expecting people to do the work for us. But unfortunately, man, that stuff don't happen like that. It just don't be like people just gonna do what's necessary because we're not forcing the issue.
But we was in the house last night, though.
Yeah, we was in the house last night.
Deep. They showed up.
And what the brother referring to is, we had to go down to the county commission office, had a meeting with those commissioners yesterday. We had a meeting yesterday. And the thing was, man, we trying to make sure that we got the right representation in the areas that we live, right? When we're talking about the road commission is a very important entity. the road commission has been operating on its own for a long time, and the road commission has had these racial practices
in
where
place.
it promotes discrimination.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that is never been dealt with until well, it's been dealt with, but we haven't had no results from them. And that I guess that'd be the sad thing for me.
Yeah. And they've been doing this for a long time. Man. Like I said, I applied 3 or 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a partner, a good friend, go way back of mine who retired out the road, retired out the road commission. And he was saying about the racial divide down there, how they gave him hell. You know what I'm saying? And I was back like in the 80s and 90s. You know what I'm saying?
I believe it, man.
So man, I really ain't good at, you know me, I'm a behind the scenes type of guy.
Yeah.
I really ain't good at speaking publicly, but I'm getting better.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to say something at that meeting, man, because I experienced it firsthand.
Right.
You know, I applied and I had all the qualifications. I mean, I got a CDL, man, with 0 points class. I mean, all endorsements you can hold with experience.
Right.
I mean, as far as gravel, running van,
Mm-hmm.
you know, everything except for, but I was qualified to run anything, doubles, you know, triples.
Mm-hmm.
I can drive any damn thing, but they would never bring me on board. And that's when I was telling you about the BB was going to make the call for, I don't know what happened with that.
Right.
So I really would, you know what, if I'd heard you speak, I got in there late, I probably would have had the courage to get up there and go ahead and speak.
Yeah,
because you had spoke before I came.
Yeah. And the thing was, we were speaking on issues that were taking place at the Road Commission. But understand this, at the Genesee County Commission, we got 2 vacant seats, right? One left by Mr. Brian B.B. Nolan, who passed away on us last year.
Unfortunately.
Right? And then as well, Dominic Clemens, who has moved on to be the Genesee County Clerk. And so you got 2 positions on the Genesee County Board of Commissioners, which the county board is very important because it is the board that facilitates the activities through the county. And so they appoint these people on the road commission. And so when you have 5 people on the road commission, and let me make this point too, there has never been 2 blacks at the same time on the road commission.
On the board?
On the board, yeah.
Oh, really?
And when you talking about, you know, the road commission and you talking about representation, we've always had a very light voice over there. And they've always been operating on their old, you know, good old boy system. They've always been on that whole, you know, just operating in their own lane. But they've been used to doing that for so long that that's all they do. That's all they know. Right.
I commend the guy who said, well, I'll step down. I want his seat. When I gathered, he wanted to give Winfrey his seat, and he was willing to step down.
Yeah.
I see they really didn't like that, but you know, he was pushing it to him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was like, I know this guy qualified, experienced, and have all the credentials that suit, you know, for this position. So I stepped down in order to put this black man in his seat. Yeah. I think that was a real big, you know what I'm saying? That's a real big move, man.
I want to say that was Martin. Commissioner Martin, who actually he was the chair of the appointment committee. And so what he did was, or what was done was, there was an appointment committee that was created that didn't have the proper operations procedures, and then they made appointments to Chris. They wanted to appoint Chris Granger. I might be having the name, you know, a little mixed up or what have you, but his name was Chris Granger. And so they was trying to appoint him yesterday. But the thing is, before they appoint somebody, you know, before they even look at, you know, putting somebody else on the road commission, it's very vital that we have those 2 commissioners on the board selected first. And so that was a big thing. And so I have to give a big shout out to Commissioner Dickerson, who was always on the front lines and who was always keeping us up to date, you know, with everything going on. They always keeping us, involved in practices at the road commission. But the brother fighting the fight by himself. And when board practices, is majority wins. And if you got the majority that's in opposition of, say for instance, what he has his perspective and what he want to do, then you're not going to have any representation because they're going to vote for the stuff that they want all the time.
The majority.
And what we have to do is when we talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion, we have to mean that. Like, it just can't be a buzzword. It can't be something that we just saying, we're just talking about. But it has necessarily be done through action. So I want to see this board diverse. I want to have and create real platinum equity, right? And I ain't talking equality. Equality and equity is two different things. Equality is everybody having the same thing, just getting the same resources in every area, right? Bottom line. When we talk about equity, sometimes other groups of people, other communities need certain resources. Sometimes, like us in Flint, we need resources that's catered to public safety because we got high crime, because there's no jobs and opportunities here in the city. A lot of people are just trying to find a way, and it leads to crime and other activity. But you look at other communities that's more affluent, they don't have to have public safety as a top measure or a top priority because nobody doing a crime because everybody, kind of busy, they're working, or they got something going on.
They got a good economy.
You got a good economy. Yeah, that's true. So for us now, man, we have to go ahead and make sure that when we at these spaces, we want to know exactly what's going on, but we want to show up every time for not only to be just activists and see what's going on, but we need to show up every time to keep an eye and hold accountability on those who we elect. You know what I'm saying?
We need for the community to come out to support because numbers is power. More numbers we get up on, more people we get it to come out, the more they'll pay attention. You know what I'm saying? If just a couple of show up, they still got the majority. They ain't gonna take us. But when we start cutting the numbers like we came last night, you know what I'm saying? They have to pay attention.
Big shout out to everybody who came through last night.
I see my man $3.
Big shout out to everybody who came out.
Yeah.
We had a full pack house at the county board. We was in there, everybody, kind of enlightened and spoke about how discrimination has plagued this county and how it's had ruined lives of people in Flint. We had a place now, we have to go ahead and start stepping up and do something. And we'll be attending city council the same way.
Right.
I know a lot of times people don't want to go to city council because the meetings are long. We're talking about those meetings be like 7-8 hours when people be working and then trying to sit in during a meeting just to provide some insight. But at the same time, man, it's kind of hard sitting in the meeting for 7 hours. Right. So Flint City Council, we need y'all to really look at your agendas and then really be concerned about constituents' problems. And then you vote on these things. It shouldn't take 15 hours to get done. And I think that's where people get tired. And I know folks are tired. Yeah, I'm tired, right? The thing is, you just get burnt out from always trying to be out there on the front line. You get tired of being ran around and getting the same song and dance. Like that stuff is just like it's very difficult to continue to take in.
That's right. And if you can't be there in person, call your councilman with your concerns and your issues.
Right.
There's more ways to show up. And if you ain't got time to come down there in person, call your councilman. We need everybody. Don't just sit back and talk about what's wrong, especially if you stay at Flint. You need everybody's support. Just don't like you sit back to be consistent. Right. We need everybody. You know what I'm saying? Numbers is power. You just sitting back all the time talking about what's wrong, and you ain't trying to be a part of it to help fix it.
Right.
We need everybody to come out to these council meetings.
Right.
Just come in. If you can't, like I say, just call your councilman. You know what I'm saying? Or stop in with us down here, Black Lives Matter, and, drop something on us, and we relay it.
Right.
But we need to get our numbers up. The most important thing is to get our numbers up.
Man, listen, as tired as you may be, we need you, Flint. We need everybody in the city We need everybody to pull together and pull to make a future for our youth. We got youth in this building right now. We got people in this city that's looking for help. We got people out here crying out for some support. And we can't just sit around and just look at our own circumstance. Like I know a lot of times people be like, I gotta go to work. Or I'm not dealing with
I get that.
I respect that.
Yeah.
I know folks gotta work. You gotta get up in the morning, you gotta do your thing. But at the same time, man, we need everybody to show up to these meetings. We need everybody to be a force. And we should all have the same voice. Everybody should be talking about the same issues. Everybody should be talking about it. And everybody start creating an action plan that's going to end it and address it. So we got racial activity and discrimination taking place in Genesee County at the Board of Commissioners, at the Road Commission. Then that's your opportunity to say, like, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and step up. I'm going to come to these meetings. I'm going to get informed. I'm going to know what's going on in the city. And I'm going to participate. Because it's more than just us voting. It's more than us just voting. It's more than us just being that. It's time for us to take back our city, but create a vision for the future.
And then, wow, check this out, man. And I ain't put their name out here, but a top lawyer been around here for years in Flint told me this about a year ago, man. And I didn't believe it, but I heard it again at that board meeting last night.
Okay.
That Genesee County is the most racist county in the nation. Did you hear that guy say that last night?
I heard that last night.
I heard that before. It blew me away, man. I couldn't believe it.
I heard that last night.
In an older person broke it down to me. It was like, well, Rodney, it's a different form of race. Mm-hmm. And this is a systematic racism. Mm-hmm. And then when they told me that, the light turned right on. I've been dealing with systematic employment racism for like 25 years, man.
So,
what
was your experience with the Road Commission?
Well, I applied several times, went down there, not quite, I wouldn't call it an interview. Mm-hmm. I sat and talked to a guy when I look back on it. It was kind of like a little, not a formal interview, but a little, you know what I'm saying?
Fill the quota, we interviewed the black guy type of thing.
It must have been that type of deal, man. But anyway, I went through that and went through several applications. Mm-hmm. Had all the qualifications, man. Even like I say, man, he was probably trying to get me, but he was probably fighting the powers that be. You know what I'm saying? I meant to get to the bottom of that, but he just, unfortunately, I know where it passed away. So, but knowing the guy he was probably trying to get me in there and trying to fight the powers that be with this shit that's on deck now. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I had a few brothers I know, man, still. Probably just decided to meet the little quota or satisfy, quiet us down.
We interviewed, he was qualified, but we went elsewhere. We chose someone.
That type.
Well, that's been an issue. That's been an issue on a continuous basis, man. Think about how many times people have been trying to, at least get a job or opportunity, man. It's qualified. And even think about Anthony Branch. Anthony Branch is at the Road Commission right now. He got 30 years experience, been there for a long time. When the promotion was up for him and another department to step up, they didn't even give a brother an interview. They'll opt out to give somebody who is, already working inside and already has the knowledge and qualifications. They really go outside and find somebody else, right? That they feel will be better suited. And like folks get tired of that, man. People get sick of that.
If he was a white guy with all that experience inside, they'd pull right from inside.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now he got all these qualifications, man, and they look past this brother. They go reach outside. You know what I'm saying? Come on now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Come on now. That's it. Which goes right back to what you guys were talking about. Yeah. What can we do as a community to get the folks who look like us to get these contracts, the people that are qualified who look like us to be out there doing the work? How many times do we pass all the construction sites and zones and bridges on the highways and all that? And we're lucky to see one meatball in the white rice for lack of lack of better words, we're lucky to see that. So what can we do to change that image? You know what I'm saying? These people are coming from outside our cities and getting our good paying jobs and doing the work in our communities. So what can we do?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Put our voice, man, they come together.
To make the people that are doing the work be residents of this city that are qualified, who look just like us, who get those contracts, that they're down there at City Hall fighting over every day instead of coming up with results. We need people in place that are going to come up with resources to distribute this funding properly, equally, and fairly. And we are the citizens of this community, and the majority of the people in this community look just like us. So we should be doing most of that work.
That's right. Absolutely, man. And the thing is, man, man, what you ready finna throw up is you done?
Nah.
But yeah, man, what our problem is, man, we need to come together. The game won't be a divide and conquer. As long as they got us outnumbered, they got us beat all day long. Yeah. See, brothers need, if we can figure out how to love each other, man, and stop, like Pac said, stop looking at each other as our enemy, always trying to outdo one another, man. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Once we capitalize on that and bring them numbers together, man, it's a wrap. Because you got a lot of whites that know we had been done wrong, but they scared to really speak up because they don't want to lose their little status quo. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then you got the mulattoes. I'm sorry, not mulattoes. You got blacks and whites that's mixed. You know, you got mixed, a lot of racial.
It's mulatto.
Look at the NBA and the NFL now, man. You see so many mixed, you know what I'm saying? People now. Then you got your blacks. When you collab all of them numbers, man, it's coming. It's coming. When you bring all them together, it's gonna be a problem. Then so that's all that old good old boy shit. Mm-hmm. That's when it's gonna get taken care of, man. You know what I'm saying? So we can't lose hope, man. We got to keep hope alive. That's all we got left.
Man, you know what? I don't even want to be. Let me play devil advocate, right? So, what do we do if we out here fighting, we out here trying to work, and we doing our best to survive? What do we do if we just not seeing the progress happen fast enough? Like, we just celebrate Martin Luther King Day, right? This brother was talking about this same stuff, man, back when he was out here and when he was pushing the message, right? Do you think that we would be much farther than where we are now?
I mean, you say what now?
Do you think we should be much farther today than we were back in when Martin Luther King was out here?
Man, no doubt.
He was assassinated in '68. So
it's like, man, we went back.
He would be 90. He would have been 93 on his birthday. He was assassinated in '68, and he was talking about these same issues. We're in 2023.
Exactly. It almost looked like we had fell behind that in '68, bro.
Yeah.
But the thing about it, that what keep us alive, man, is we ain't got no other choice but to keep fighting. Because we give up, then what? They're gonna rush the show, man. You know what I'm saying? If we give up, you know, if we ain't got no other choice but to keep fighting, man. Because if we drop our hands, man, they really gonna run over us. You know what I'm saying?
It really goes back to what you guys were talking about, sticking together. You know, look at every other race. I mean, look at the Koreans, look at the Chinese, look at the white folks, look at just people in general, different races,
every other race,
Latinos and stuff. They come together.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, to make things happen. You know what I mean? And our unity has been our biggest problem. But you know, we're living in a system that's designed to intentionally divide, especially us.
It's all by design.
Laws and gentrification and all these things. They come up with a new law, new zoning rights, new voting lines. They do everything in their possible to keep brothers like DeWine out of office and brothers like, you know, you and I from getting these contracts and stuff that we were talking about. So at the end of the day, the unity is the key, because we gotta come together and play by their rules to defeat them at their game. You can't just make up new rules because they're gonna cash you down. That don't float. You gotta use the same tools and resources that they've made legal to.
Just like that video you played when we was over there in the studio, man. Run Black, what was that? Run Black Boy Run?
Yeah.
And it's always like they got a 500 or 50-yard, put it this way, way ahead of us. But we supposed to have an equal start, you know what I'm saying? But the finish line, you know what I'm saying? They got a big jump on us.
Yeah, 400 years.
Right,
They started 400 years ago. Then they said, "All right, go."
Yeah, now already let them go.
With this backpack full of bricks.
Backpack full of bricks, man.
So you got to take that with you too.
Yeah, and they got the jump. And they got the jump. But then how come you say
That's the frustration right there.
And the power and the generational wealth was built off that 400-year start. You know, it's just look at the shirts she's wearing, cotton and all that other stuff. This is generational wealth. This is wealth that'll never go away. That they tell us, you know, when it's 9/11, never forget. You know what I'm saying? The Holocaust. Oh my God, such a tragedy, which it was horrific. Never forget. Never forget. Slavery. Get over it. We ain't do that. Our great grandmother did that. We didn't do that. Reparations, no way. Hold on. How would you teach my child about the history of this country? That you're gonna want to make my children feel ashamed or hurt or sad or upset. If you don't learn from history, you're going to repeat the same mistakes in the future. It's going to happen again. It's inevitable. You know what I mean? So they need to learn.
It's like you gotta speak that, you don't get paid no attention. You don't speak English, or you don't speak according to their tone or how they communicate. You know what I'm saying? You notice how everybody want to talk so, I guess you would say proper English. My English always been broken. So, and that's just who I am. You know what I'm saying? But now that, more, it ain't nothing wrong with it, because you can, I guess, get their attention that way. If you kind of talk the way they talk or walk the way they walk, a lot of people talking so proper now and holding their ass tight and all that, you know what I'm saying? But that's just the way it is, but that ain't where I come from. So, and they always want to make a black man feel like, if you give this guy a little bit more knowledge, you better than him. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we get caught up at. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You give motherfucker a little more knowledge, he get to think they, above you. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, that's true. I agree. But it shouldn't. I think like you were saying, like
it's by design, though.
It is by design, man. Yeah, we're gonna do a fast track, man. We're gonna bring in a history impact from brother Naeem Roberts, man. Go ahead and show this clip, man. Y'all tune in.
Hello, everybody. This is another installment of Black Lives Matter, History Impact. Today, we're going to discuss a little bit about the cannabis industry, which ties into the history of African Americans or Americans of African descent building this country, being enslaved in this country, and never at any time were they treated fairly or given resources, even after 1865, to fend or build for themselves. They were excluded, literally, out of every opportunity that this country was supposed to afford to the enslaved Africans after 1865. No law, no treaty, no opportunity. If we talk about slavery, and most white people want to say, well, I didn't enslave anybody, but Jim Crow and de facto segregation lasted for almost 150 years. So let's just deal with 150 years of intense Jim Crow and segregation. But today for our conversation, let's deal with the cannabis business. In Genesee County, there's 0.1% ownership of black-owned cannabis shops in Genesee County. And in the state, that number is a horrid. And in the country, it is even worse. There are 16 states that have legalized marijuana, and of all those states, they still incarcerate people for drug charges, marijuana charges, at 63%. In America, most people, 2.5 million people in America that are incarcerated, we're less than 5% of the population, but incarcerate 25% of our people, and those are black and brown people, and they are incarcerated intentionally, just like during enslavement. It's a business. The Justice Department is a business. Don't get it twisted. The Justice Department is a business. Enslaving and indentured servitude have lasted for 350 years in this country. Even when you go back to the Beacon Rebellion back in, I think it's 1763, something like that. The Bacon's Rebellion, because somewhat all people were getting along, but they had to really bring down laws to create differences in groups dealing with indentured servitude, to pit blacks and whites and Indians or native people of this country against each other only for the sole purpose of white supremacy. And so it's very important for us to understand that, what are we going to do about this? Because even when you talk about the cannabis business, and you would think that that would be an out or in, since people have been locked up and criminalized for marijuana, then that's something that people of African descent should be able to take advantage of. No, that's not happening today, and we are allowing it. We as black people are really allowing this kind of behavior to happen because we're not committed to boycotting and stop spending our dollars at General Motors, at Chrysler, at Maybach, all this other illusionary prizes and this culture conditioning. Think that because you have these things, you have arrived, or you got something because you got a $500 Gucci belt. All that insanity, which places us in the situation that we're in, that we have nothing. If you think about the banking institution and you think about what's going on, just look at this. Of the 100 companies that are on Black Enterprise 100 list, they have less than $30 billion combined. One company, Walmart, have $468 billion. $468 billion with a B. They are larger than all of the companies on Black Enterprise, most successful black businesses. That is not by accident. That's done intentionally. And again, when you think about what is our purpose and our cause, when you understand history, when you really research history and understand every institution in this country, from the colleges to the hospitals to any business in this country, was funded, insurance company, trading company, was funded off the backs of black and brown people dealing with enslavement. So we as a people, we have to be committed to what are we going to do to change our condition. I want to thank you again for this opportunity, and please look forward to, if you have any questions, please call me at 810-394-4105. My email is mentorroberts@gmail.com. Again, these programs are designed for us to start working on some changes as far as impacting our community, where we can change the condition in our community and build resources for ourselves. I thank you. I look forward to hearing from you again.
But not literally. You know what I'm saying? When you have somebody like that, Brother Roberts deep.
What's the other topic coming up?
Man, big shout out to Brother Roberts, man. Always being a historian. Hey, in the background. Big shout out to Brother Roberts, man, for always being a beacon of light, always dropping knowledge.
Looking good, Brother Roberts. Looking good, man.
Looking good, brother, man. And, he just had surgery. Yeah, he had surgery, man. So keep him in your prayers because he's fighting a good fight to get better. And a lot of times, man, people go through, struggle. It's a war, not a battle. So we fight a lifetime fight, man. And we need all our soldiers. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of us out here on the front lines getting to it. So the ones that we do have in the chairs, continue to keep them uplifted. So one thing we want to go ahead and dive into, we want to talk about this child support, child custody issue that's been going on for a very long time. A lot of times you got good fathers out here that's trying to be connected to their children, but they're having a very difficult time trying to, raise their children, be in their children's life, be an influence over their life, because the relationship between the mother is sour, right? So tell me this, man. You're a father.
Come on.
I'm a father.
Come on.
My two children are teenagers, right? And I'm at this point now where I had to go through the terrifying system of getting rights to my children, right? And to be able to have time with them, to be able to raise them, to be able to educate them and teach them, because I am and we are the first parents as far as parents.
Right.
And then Genesee County is not too welcoming to helping fathers out in those circumstances. A lot of times, Genesee County gives the rights to the mother.
Yeah.
And these are not the mothers of the past. These are not the women that's in big mamas and grandmas that raised, mother wit that was able to raise children and feed them right, make sure that they had a spiritual background, ensure that they were ready for the world. Right? A lot of them he's
bitter.
A lot of them is very bitter. Right?
Bitter with.
But that don't get you nowhere though, right?
Nowhere.
They want to not share custody. They don't want to give you parenting time. And that's been a problem. And a lot of times the women, you don't understand, man, the children fall victim to that. They get upset about that. You might think that you're doing something today. You think that you might be, hindering the relationship between the father because he did some nonsense and some bullshit to you. And now you just mad because you want to make sure that he paid for it for the rest of his life. Well, at the end of the day, them children don't got nothing to do with that. Them babies ain't got nothing to do with that mess y'all got going on.
And it ain't gonna hurt the daddy. I mean, to that degree.
It ain't hurt. Well, it hurt because
it hurt.
A lot of times it hurt the heart.
But who gonna hurt the most?
The children gonna hurt the most. Yeah, but
absolutely.
That's why we streamline and having these understandings and conversations, because fathers are needed, especially black fathers. I'm trying to tell you, this world needs black fathers more. They need to support black fathers. We should be uplifting every black father in this community, especially if they're doing something for their children. And for the ones who may be struggling to do something for their children, it's not to blackball them out the lives of the babies. It's not to put that man on child support and then now, he feel that, hey, listen, I'm not going to work a job because this is taking all my check. That's a real thing. I know a lot of fathers right now, like, man, listen, man, I'm out here on the streets. Like I'm grinding because I'm not giving a shit.
They're going to take long, dog.
And that'd be a thing, though. That'd be a real thing. So I always encourage, I always want to support co-parenting. Co-parenting is the best thing that you can do. You can be a phenomenal mother, be a great father, and them children will be successful. A lot of times in the relationships nowadays, the mother and father is not in the house. We gotta, that's where we are.
Black folks.
Especially black folks, but also white folks too. Like, they're getting divorced at an all-time high. They're not even,
But it was set up to take us out the crib, though, man. Take us out the home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't set up for white guys like that. Even though it's happening at an all-time high with them too, but really, it was set up to remove us. It's all by design.
So to even understand that method that's being used, we got to beat that. We got to beat that. We got to be the ones that say, like, nah, I'm not going to fall victim to the system, and we're going to work this out together. Whatever child support I need to pay you, not no ridiculous amount where I can't even pay my bills.
There's a lot of brothers going through that, man.
There's a lot of that going on right there.
This brother I was talking to wanted, some insight. What you and your cousins was talking about that. And that's why I was telling him to tune in, because he's going through that right now, man. And Duane, you're doing a hell of a job, man. I wish I'd have had the knowledge that you and your cousin got. When I was going through that, my youngest now finna be 18, so I'm pretty done with that. And my boy, he about 25, 26, so that's you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I was fighting so hard, man. I got files right now today, man. And in the friend in court, man, is how we say in the hood. Ain't no friend of mine. Ain't no friend of mine.
Yeah, that's a real thing. It's a real thing. It's never been very friendly or kind to her.
And she knew the system. You know what I'm saying? She knew the system real well. She played it to the, you know what I'm saying? And still, man, my kids, they cool. And I think that they still, healthy and, but still they suffered a lot. Because they could have got a lot further had, the mother. But I ain't gonna put it all on her. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna put it on blast like that.
Right.
Because I could have did more too. I'm gonna say that too. I could have done better too. You know what I'm saying? But
I agree.
It take, like you say, man, if you got both parents rocking, man, the child have a better chance than just one person.
Right. The child is definitely gonna have a better chance when you have both parents in the household. That is data proven. But then also now with the situation, the current setup, a lot of fathers not in the household. The next best thing is always co-parent. So I always advise families to have a plan. So you sit down, you talk about these things. So how and what school are we gonna set our children up at? Right? What type of spiritual background are we trying to raise our children? Right? What type of health issues and how are we going to provide coverage for our babies so they remain healthy? Right. Those are questions that need to be answered by the parents. Those is things that need to be. Yeah, so it ain't about y'all no more. It ain't about y'all relationships. Not about y'all fallout. It's not about none of that, right? Because when the relationship is over, it's over.
It's about what we created.
It's about what we created. And I know my grandma always tell me, like, at one point in time, you had love for her.
You see,
and I agree. At one point in time, I sure did. I did have love.
Come on.
Over the years, it becomes difficult to deal with. And so you just
look back like, I don't know what the hell I don't think about.
I look at that all the time. And I don't be want to tell my children that I don't want to be letting them know and talking bad about their mother, because that impacts them. Yeah. And they don't want to see that from their father. No. So I have to be the one to be like, all right, well, cool, we're gonna go ahead and work through this. But let me communicate to you so you know what's going on. So if it's a situation or issue that took place, I want you to know. I'm not bashing, I'm not talking bad, I'm just speaking facts. And this way that they know, because they're gonna be adults one day and they're gonna go through life in situations that may be or resemble what they had to grow up in. I remember this coming up with my mom. My mom was never like that with my father. My mother would have let us go with our father if that's what he wanted. Right? See? And she encouraged us not to, disrespect, even when we went around. She encouraged to go to the respect, because you respect your mother and father. That's how we was raised. You respect both. It's not one over the other. It's both 50%. It took both of them to create. And y'all both provide different personalities, and y'all both provide different principles that we're going to need to be the best person we're going to be in life. So mom was the nurturer. She was the educator. She made sure that we ate, right? That's fundamental values. We need that, right? If the father was supposed to be the disciplinary, right? He's supposed to provide the plan for the family, protect, and then set them up for the future. That's the role. So it takes both.
You ever heard the old something about OJ's family reunion?
Are you talking about the
movie? He breaks it down. Family reunion, yeah. He breaks it down, the role of the father, the mother, the daughter, and everybody really in this world. On that song, Family Reunion. It's an old tune that they play at Family Guys Family.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
But he breaks it down, man. But DeJuan, I want you to drop some jewels on these brothers, man. How they can get some help and what they can do if they're going through this child support with the mother. Y'all was saying some things the other day. I was trying to pick them up, but y'all got more insight to it.
Especially the joint custody part of it, because a lot of guys don't know how to pursue that angle.
Come on.
A lot of guys are actually terrified of the friend of the court. They don't want to go down there and ruffle no more feathers because they're already raping them and robbing them blind off the money that they're making, working 40 hours a week. So I know a lot of guys are just like, man, I ain't going down there. I went down there one day and I thought I was paying to earn a living and they increased it $50 more a week. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I was just going down there to complain about parenting time. So
right.
For guys like that want more parenting time and then want to maybe pursue joint custody, you've done a lot of that and you've had a few, you got experience with that. A lot of guys don't know about that. A lot of guys don't even know that if you keep your kids for 3 consecutive weeks or something in a row or more than 4 or 5 days out of a week, so you can fill out a parenting time form that you can get right from the FOC that will
will reimburse you for that week because you were paying child support. If you had them for a whole month throughout the summer and the child support was still going to the mom, you can fill out a parenting form down there. Say I had them Sunday through Monday for 4 weeks in a row. I think it's only like 5 days out the week or 4 days you have to have them physically. And parenting time form will reimburse you eventually for that week or for that month. A lot of people don't know that.
No. See, and that's why it's so vital. Right. That's why it's so critical to have conversations and to be able to share this information. Like, even before I even got to the point of having, joint custody and have the scheduling time with my children, I had to file motion after motion. I would go in there, I would file motions with the Genesee County courts, and I'd go in there, represent myself, and and be railroaded right about it, right? And it's frustrating. It's a vicious cycle. You're just tired of dealing with them. Man, for one, you're tired of dealing with her, and then you got to sit up here and deal with the courts. It's just excruciation.
You see, I didn't really know about the spillovers. You know what I'm saying? And now it hit me like a brick, a ton of bricks, man. I can look back and see, I have my kids over for, extended period, short time, and she'd come get them. You know what I'm saying? Then she'd just take them to the crib, drop them off. Then she'd book and go work at the liquor store. They really be just running amongst. You know what I'm saying? Right. I'm calling my crib, it's stability. You know what I'm saying? It's focus. Yeah. Focus. But I didn't know the game, till now, y'all like when she was running. They say stay a certain amount of time. Yeah. Then that's gonna offset that child support. I didn't know that.
It don't have to right away. Not that time right away.
But if you can go back and document keeping them days, days when you had them.
Yeah. Now the thing is, and a lot of times too, though, is when you dealing with a stipulated order. I always suggest do a stipulated order. That means that you and the parent are able to work out the scheduling time for the children. You work out what the child support amount is going to be, and you work out, of course, any other intangible, right? With education, with health, all those different things, holidays. So for me and my children, I got them almost half the month. So that means that those are overnights. And for fathers, it's all about overnights. If you're really trying to impact your child support and you're really trying to, raise your children, you want to have them overnight. Everybody gets that standard order, which is every other weekend. Every father gets that one. Right? That's Friday to Sunday. But that ain't gonna do you too much good because you're only seeing them really 4 days out the month. Think about that. You're only seeing them children 4 days out the month, and then you paying an arm and leg for child support because you only have them 4 days out the month. But think about if you have them half the month, then that X out child support. You only have to pay child support because you have them overnight half the month. So you spending just as much as she's spending. You paying the same bills she's spending, right? So it balances out. And I encourage all fathers, man, make sure y'all have them children overnight. Make sure y'all take them babies to school. Make sure you take them to the doctor appointment. Make sure you be the ones that go ahead and start orchestrating, facilitating, setting them up for life, and making sure that you are part of every part of their life. It's not about us just paying child support and then being babysitters on the weekend. When I was doing it every other weekend, I felt like the fun dad. And that was when it was first born. Right? It was like, I have them over the weekend, so we just doing weekend activities. But then when it came down to establishing an order to be able to take them to school every day, pick them up, take them to these practices, they do all these different extracurriculums, and I got to set up the doctor appointments. I got to set up, even when they get sick, I got to make sure that they're good. Those things is what you want to do, right? But then also it's the benefit of you having your children and you having influence of your children. And then the cherry on top is that it's not about paying child support because you're paying that out anyway because you're going to have them those times, right? So encourage fathers always get a stipulated order. And I always suggest when you and the mothers don't speak in terms, I don't care if y'all together. I was just telling my brother that the other day. He was with his girl. I was telling him, listen, they just had a baby, and they just had another baby. I'm like, all right, man, listen, I think you should, y'all should work out and put a stipulated order together. He's like, man, I'm gonna marry this girl. Like, okay, I mean, I respect all that. But at the same time, man, make sure you put together a stipulated order because y'all on the same. Yeah, at least y'all together
right now.
Y'all together right now, right? And then, at the same time, you want to be able to have conversations and setting them children up for the future. Right. He didn't do that, right? And then next thing you know it, they broke up. She left, took the children, and now he left. Holding it back.
Take him down through there.
Take him down through there, but it's true. When you first had them children, when you just in a relationship and y'all have a good understanding with each other, y'all make some orders about babies. That's how you save yourself a lot of heartache in the end. Because when she would act crazy, or when the brother ain't want to hold it down, then y'all got that paperwork that y'all both signed on and notarized, and it's at the front of the court. It holds y'all accountable for those children. Y'all already mapped it out together. You don't want to wait until the courts, but you got to be in the courts. And then you got to establish the fact of why to change a household. You got to talk bad about one another. It's like a bunch of mess. So I wasn't even interested in doing that. I didn't care to sit up here and talk about this woman. I didn't care to even say, like, hey, all the issues that I felt was going on with my children.
What you got going on there, dog?
But always, man, for all the fathers, all the young fathers, all the new fathers coming up, all the fathers in general, right? Even fathers that has children as teenagers, right, or grown, and make sure that you have a stipulated order for the babies, man. It will save you a lot of heartache and all this money in the future, right? That's what we're talking about.
Hey, Dewan, another thing we need to touch on, man, because it's after 7.
Yeah.
7:05 to be exact. Is ARPA funds. About the ARPA funds. And I want to speak on, city council. Like I said, I caught the tail end. I stayed down there after we left from the board meeting, right? I went on across the street, and stayed, like I said, only a couple hours, 2-3 hours. But really, they was going back and forth. But nothing getting done. But when I get home, I was like, oh, nothing going on home, ain't getting nowhere. They on the same. Now I tuned in, man, then they stopped. Well, I looked at it later on, and they was about to close out. They started talking about the ARPA funds. They was talking about Habitat.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I caught, it seemed like they was going to put Habitat over the funds to allocate to the community. You had to go to Habitat. And I had been to them twice. Gave them all my information, man. Every day, at the time I scratched my ass. You know what I'm saying? Get them all this. And they all the details, man. All the fine details. I give them all this twice, man. And don't hear nothing back from them. Not even like Mr. Thomas, you don't qualify. Nothing. They just want to say, it's like they get all your information. And be like, well, damn, they got all my shit. What is they doing with it? They don't hear nothing back from them.
Yeah,
so that put a bad taste in my mouth, and for them to be thinking about putting them over there again. Not to say Habitat, ain't been good to people out here. They might, but to me, and that and on doing as far as rehab, helping us rehab our homes and giving us funding for our cribs and homes and stuff. Mm-hmm. They played us on that, man. It seemed like they were just picking who they wanted to allocate the funds to. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Man, who is this Xavier Luster on here? Man, Xavier, listen, man, you sound like a girl, man. This is crazy.
What you talking about?
Man, first of all, you got clowns like Xavier Luster that be on the internet. This is one thing that I don't respect. I do not respect no internet thugs. I don't respect nobody that sit up there be on the keyboard talking about some nonsense. Man, listen, go sit your ass down, find you something, right? You sit up here posting this nonsense, man. You think somebody tripping? You think I spend my days trying to think about what you talking about? It's like, for me, man, listen, I be so focused on the business. I be so focused on the mission. Yeah, I will come out of character. I will come out of character sometimes. I do, right? Mm-hmm. But for that nonsense that you be on, I will come out of character all the time, right? Even though it's unnecessary. And I know it'll be unnecessary, right? But you got people like that, right, man? They got really suffer from mental issues. I don't know what folks be thinking. I don't know what type of time you're on. But for one and only, man, dog, listen. I'm serious about this business. I'm serious about what's going on. And furthermore, man, ain't nobody sitting up here tripping about nothing you talk about.
Okay. So when I look at these type of things and I see this type of stuff on, man, I'm like, man, what the hell, boy, be on? You got all this real stuff going on out here, and you got a bunch of people that just be hating and be watching, that really just want to follow the stuff that you do, but just want to just hate, right? And the reason why I had to put that shameless plug in there is because we got the donkey of the day, right?
All right. We got
the donkey of the day. We're gonna give it to Xavier Luster.
What they say on 98.9?
You want some shine? You want some shout? Man, you just chatty as hell. Like, what the hell? Like, what? Why would you even sit up here and expect me to entertain stuff you young? That dog want to rap, man. You want to do all these different things, man. But that stuff is silly. And I'm only just being honest with you. One day we gonna bump into each other. And it's gonna be some real shit. Like, I'm just saying, like, I don't sit up there and play this stuff for nothing. But for me, man, I'm super serious. And I'm on a mission, right? So go take your ragtag on somewhere. And I'm just being honest. And that's just being very direct. I ain't got time to play. I'm not gonna sit up here and go on back and forth with you on Facebook, on IG. I'm not gonna do none of that type of stuff, man. But one day we're gonna bump into each other and then we're about to see what's really real. Like, sometimes we got to see what's going on. And let's keep it a buck, right? So the donkey of the day goes out to Xavier Luster today, man. He wants some shine.
Give it to him, man.
Dog must be butthurt about whatever. Listen, man, who cares, right? But we got business on the floor. We're gonna always stay activated, right? We're gonna continue to be announcements out.
And guys like him, man, we don't even change no way because if we ain't about trying to uplift and all that, man, go ahead on.
Man, you know what?
So I want to find somebody to play with. We're gonna find you a toy or something. You know?
Man, I'm like, man, I don't understand. I don't understand why folks be sitting up here. I'm a very visible public person. I am all around. You claim you in Detroit, you in the city, you in this. I was just there last weekend. Right? The thing is this, though, man. We got to be serious about who we are as people. And that type of clown stuff don't get no play over here. We don't entertain that type of stuff. I just laughed at it. I just have to go on here. But I know
about the one.
A whole bunch of nothing.
You must say it must really be weak.
It's super weak. It's like it's super weak. Though, right? This is type of girl. This type of man. We got posing as girls, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
girls pose as me.
I try to get it somewhere.
Girls pose as
like, what do you really be on though?
Put donkey of the day, man. Leave it at that.
So the donkey of the day, we're gonna give it to you, Xavier. Xavier, you are the donkey of the week, donkey of the month. Hell, you the donkey of the year. You know?
And it just started.
Hey, listen,
it just started.
11 and a half more months of donkey.
In other news,
right. Back to the topic at hand.
Right. Topic at hand, man. Listen, please, man, subscribe to the channel. Right, subscribe to the channel. And we want to give a big shout out to all our young boys we're working with at the schools, man. That's doing some phenomenal work, man. We got some phenomenal young people coming up. We appreciate what they represent, man.
Shout out to school from 7th and 8th graders.
Man, shout out to them 7th and 8th graders, man. Listen, we trying to raise them up. We trying to build them up. Trying to put them in position. So, and they ready. Them young people brilliant.
They sure is, man.
You know what I'm saying?
They surprised me, man. They ain't goofy.
They super smart.
For those who don't know, Dwan, where y'all at again? Over there by the Culture Center, right downtown of Robert.
We're at the FCCA. We have Flint Culture Center Academy. Big shout out to Flint Culture Center Academy. Big shout out to Chelsea. Big shout out to Eric. I'm rocking with them. They definitely got a good curriculum, a good program. The environment is right. You got all them amenities in the school. You got all them entities around the way that being utilized.
Students, man.
I respect that.
These little students, man, is awesome, man.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, wow. They awesome, man. Yeah. And they got the right man to lead them.
I appreciate the opportunity of being involved, right? You know what I'm saying? When you're in there with them students and they are who they are. They some young kings and queens. brilliant geniuses, and I'm just like super proud to just be in, being able to be engaged with them, right? Because that means that you being involved with the next generation, people having a hand in helping Cortell what that looks like, right? So we want to be involved, we want to show them responsibility. We want to make sure that they set up and being ready to be competitive in this world, right? And that responsibility fall on us. So big shout out to all the young folks, man, getting to it, doing their thing. Very proud of y'all. And they're gonna be down here very soon.
Oh yeah, put them on.
Yeah.
Put them on.
We making way for them.
Yeah, the one. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, no. So we gonna make that happen. Big shout out to nephew in the building with us too, man. You know,
Big X.
Big
Xavier.
Yeah.
Big X.
Not the donkey of day, Xavier, the one we got in the house.
Oh, right.
That dude being in politics, man. You know what I'm saying? He's always been a troll. Right? Ain't did nothing for the city, ain't did nothing for himself.
Right. I just had to clarify that we
But
talking
you know
to the
what,
young
man? Them
Jay
kind
that
of
we got in
guys
the
that you
studio.
know you're doing something. At the same time, you need them kind of guys. They let you
We
know
don't
you're
need
doing
them
something.
type of guys, man. Them
On
guys,
the flip side, you know what I'm
Man,
saying?
them
You need them.
guys-
Because
them
they
guys-
let you know you're doing something. You know, what's the old saying? As long as they talking about you, you know you're doing something. When they stop talking, that's when you worry.
Them guys is
You know what I'm
lost.
saying?
Them guys is lost.
We know that.
Don't nobody be giving them two fucks about nothing they got going on. But they try to make themselves relevant. So we're gonna make you relevant. We're gonna make you famous, right?
As the donkey of the day
As the
on this
donkey of the
platform. That's all you're getting on this platform.
All right. And then anything else would be
Don't get no more, man. We gave him enough.
Okay. Anything else would be dealt with behind the scenes. But nevertheless, man, big shout out to nephew, man, for being a stand-up student and handling those business. Yeah, he did it, yapping, he talking crap.
Cracking me up, man.
You know what he talking about you, nephew.
All right. I'm proud of you, though, bro. So,
That's a king.
that is a young king.
King.
You need to talk to Carmen's high school next.
Carmen. We're gonna talk to Carmen too. We're gonna talk.
Who's Carmen?
Carmen High School. That's
You go to Carmen?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You need to talk about that next.
So target that one next.
Right.
Let's come.
You keep that in mind.
Just be patient, man. Let's go. We're
One
gonna
day.
put you on.
One day, 1 month.
Huh?
1 day, 1 month.
1 day, 1 month.
Yeah, one that day is.
So what day and what month?
Oh, we don't know. We gonna get it though.
You let your mama know. So she let you know.
I say when April. I say April.
Okay, give us a little time.
I say April. Get a month there.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely get you together, man. But big shout out to everybody. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you tap in. Fli-City Blackout Thursdays every 6 o'clock. We're gonna keep it rocking and keep it active. And so
Appreciate y'all.
We're blacking out.
Peace unto y'all. Peace and love. Love is the key.
See? Yeah, man, I'm talking about like this nigga just be like, man.
I noticed you noticed that shit. I'm like,
What was he saying?
Let me show you what he said. It just looks so stupid.
he say he in the Detroit area, the all up in front.
It does do it.
He don't be nowhere. He don't be nowhere.
Just a troll.
It's just a troll. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
We
why
ain't still on.
he don't deserve to have your name.